Shalom, Rav Laitman.
Hello, Dr. Laitman. Hello. I want to talk to you a bit about the situation that we're in today. The 7th of October 2023 will be remembered as the deadliest terrorist attack in the state of Israel ever. We can say that it's the worst day we had since the Holocaust. There was a terrible, more than 1,300 people were murdered, many of them civilians, more than 3,000 people injured. It was a real pogrom. People came to celebrate at a peace festival. They were massacred. Families were murdered inside their houses. There was no pity over children or babies. And from the shock and pain and the deep shattering that we're in right now, I'd like to maybe ask you on behalf of our entire nation, why did this happen to us? All in all, probably it's something that we had coming. We're not united. We're not one nation. We're not drawn to being one, to being united. We disrespect each other, disregard one another. From year to year, we're not getting any closer to each other. And therefore, in terms of a nation, in terms of what we're demanded to do, we're not a nation. We're not the nation of Israel. Were you to talk this way about the French, who many times had internal wars and slaughtered each other, then for them it's natural. But we are a nation that is called a nation only after we're united, after we connect with one another. And therefore, in case that we're not connected with each other, we're not a nation. This is Israel. We're special. And therefore, others look at us the same way. Who are we? What are we? They always have a special opinion about us, about the nation of Israel. This is what I think. And therefore, what is happening to us is natural. We've agreed to become a nation under special conditions. It happened thousands of years ago. But it doesn't mean anything. And that we agreed to become a nation as we agreed to become a nation. It's something that we mustn't forget. This is the condition. This is the condition for being the nation of Israel. Otherwise, there is no such nation. What is the condition? For us to be as one man and one heart, that all of Israel are friends. And besides all of Israel being friends, for us to want each year to become more united. And it's not happening. But to the contrary, from one year to the next, you have more people taking to the streets, shouting. I don't even know how to put it. It looks like we're the day after a soccer match, that then they go out and go at each other. But, so here it's without soccer. This is the situation. And therefore, I don't think that it's a wonder that this how it happened to us. What do you mean that it's no wonder? Because we were not united enough, then this is how children need to die, women to be raped, murdered, horrors that you don't see in movies. This is because we were not united enough. Yes? Yes. And this comes from a nation that actually is living with us, that each day they enter this country, they come here to get work, to shop. This is a nation that we're connected with, that we have a relationship with. It's not someone who just came from overseas or something. So how does it happen? This is exactly how it happens. That we have no choice but to think that we are the ones that caused this. Before the disaster, there was a tremendous political dispute here that were very aggressive, very emotional. But this is the thing, the inner split, rift, yes. But what's the problem with it? Multiplicity of opinions, it's our nature, we're Jews. We need to be above it. Even though that there's a multiplicity of views and opinions, I'm in a good relationship with whoever I'm in dispute with. Meaning both dispute and a good connection at the same time? At the same time. That's the thing? Yeah, that means that we're nonetheless close, that we're a family. That between us, there is love of others. Otherwise, what are we? Who are we? We're not close, we're not one, we're not a nation. We can't treat each other this way. Let's talk a bit about what happened to us on the level of intelligence. We have the best intelligence in the world. We invested an infinite amount of money in order to get information about Hamas's plans in order to protect us. How could it be that such a small organization was able to deceive an entire army that's so strong? We are simply in an ongoing general failure. Why? Because of the way we treat each other, because of the relations between us. What's the connection? I don't know what's the connection, but this is what it says everywhere. It's written everywhere, that Israel are strong when they treat each other favorably. And if not, nothing will help them. You can bring aircrafts here, missiles, you name it. Won't help. You see that our enemies came through this fence, came in, destroyed, and there was no soldier around. How could this be? How could it be? It's unbelievable. It's unclear, totally unclear. I think were you to ask them before, what do they dream of in their greatest successes, they couldn't imagine. It's like they're being encouraged by I don't know what power. It's like, what happened here? I don't get it. It was 50 years since the last war, since the day of Yom Kippur. What do they want to show us? That nothing will help us, just like I told you 10 minutes ago, that nothing will help us unless we treat each other from heart to heart here inside of Israel. What kind of relationship should there be between us within the nation from heart to heart? I protect you, and you protect me. I want to be closer to you, and you want to be closer to me. And this is really how we are between everyone. Since the disaster, this is exactly what we see in the country. We see acts of heroism, soul devotion, general support, mutual support. I don't think that you have something like that in any other nation. With all due respect, there are such things in other nations, but not that it comes from the soul. So it's something that we do have. Then why did we get this kind of blow? Because there's no heart-to-heart connection. But now there's a tremendous connection of heart-to-heart, where among the nation, people are doing wondrous things for the nation after this terrible disaster, after the blow. Some more time will go by, 2 weeks, 2 months, and you'll see what'll happen. Again, they'll take to the streets, these against those. That's how it is. Let's talk a bit about the brutality we saw. Our enemy massacred us. You can't even digest the pictures that it can be real. Not only that they didn't hide the horrors they did, they publicized the videos of it all. How does a person reach a state where he kills, murders babies, and is proud of it? The problem is that it doesn't influence us. What do you mean? That this is how they treat us. It's not the first time in history. It's not the first time in history. And that you are stunned by it, that's the problem. That it doesn't affect us. That we don't draw any conclusions from it. How can a human being, I don't know if we can call it a human being, becomes worse than an animal? Yeah, this is man. So write down so it'll be clear to you that this is man. We are in the 21st century. We thought we've advanced. No, advanced where? We didn't advance and they didn't advance. How did we advance? The world is more enlightened. How? Mister, how is the world more enlightened? Where did you see more enlightened people? What do they want to give the world? To their neighbors, in general to the world, to culture, education, to little children. What do they want? They only want as much as possible for themselves, and may the world burn. This is what I see, according to how people behave. A few years ago, ISIS stunned the world, and we remember their crazy cruelty. And now we see another manifestation. Why do you see more and more extremism and the extreme Islam or cruelty? It's not only Islam. 50 years, 70 years ago, we saw it in Germans, which is a very culturized nation, very ancient. So what is it about man's nature that's so murderous? It exists in human nature, but especially against Israel. Why? Because we, and it says so in the Torah, that we need to be better than everyone. Why? Because the Creator arranged it so. The Creator arranged it so that we need to be better than everyone, and if not, then they treat us worse than everyone. We need to be better than everyone in what? In everything. First of all, toward each other. We have to reach a state where we help each other, where we love each other, that we're close to one another. When you now see the mutual help, closeness, it's because everyone's afraid that tomorrow it might happen again. And allow this feeling to dissipate, and again, you'll see that everyone disregards everyone else. I want to tell you two heroic stories. There are plenty, but two of them. Matan Abergil, a soldier, he fought the terrorists together with his friends. Suddenly, they threw a grenade into the car that they were driving, and the soldiers, when Matan saw the grenade, he jumped on it in order to save his friends. Tali Haddad is a mother of 6. 4 of them are right now fighters in the army. She evacuated 13 injured people in her car, driving back and forth under heavy terrorist fire. These are only 2 stories, there are plenty. What goes through a person's mind that he knows that he's going to sacrifice his life for others now? Maybe it's people that he doesn't know at all. What goes through his mind? That he's doing the right thing. And this is what keeps him, what gives him the strength, that he is doing a good and proper deed, and that he must do it. It's like against the basic, very basic instincts in human nature. Right. How? This also exists in human nature. That's why we're human. Animals work by instincts, and also in animals we sometimes feel such forms of behavior that are beyond the animate level. What can we learn from such heroic acts? An example, that this is how all of us need to be toward each other. Does this potential exist in any Jew? In everyone. In each and every one, not only in Jews, but also in every nation. It is a potential of soul devotion or what? Yeah. That I have to save my fellow man. How to make it surface in our heart that it'll appear not only in times of trouble, disaster. I don't know. It's necessary to talk about it a lot and to give the proper education for it. It's something that we don't have. Those that go to school, do they hear about it? Of course, they hear about it in school, in the army. They hear about the heroic stories, of course. It's not something foreign to us, but in the day-to-day life, in our day-to-day life, we erase it. Erase it. We laugh at it. There's like this gap between our day-to-day life and times of emergency. Right. And we're forgetting that we're all the time times of emergency until we will reach love another as yourself. What do you mean? That we will really accept the behavior of love and connection, mutual help, taking interest in one another, for this to be something common among us. How do we build such an atmosphere that we as if have many times different disputes here? You think one thing, I think another thing. So what? So what? Why does that have to push us away from each other, separate us? It just means that we're human beings and each has his own opinion. The thing is that sometimes you feel that my opinion is destroying your life, our country. If so, then it is something that we need to talk about, put it on the table. We need to nonetheless understand what is going on here. And how can we come to some kind of agreement? As we're talking now, it comes to mind, there's this saying in the Torah, do not hate your brother in your heart. As if there are two levels. There is the level of opinions. You think this, I think that. I follow my opinion, you follow yours. Great. But there is a different level, the heart, that no hate can enter. Right. This order of don't hate your brother in your heart. What's important about it? Because it's unaccepted. It is unaccepted. It can't be that I hate him in my heart. That there's nothing deeper. Is it not natural that if I think that you're harming me, then of course I hate you? I do not allow myself to hate this way. I don't allow myself to hate this way. Why? What kind of hate does it have to be? What kind of hate is this? Previously, you said that there's the condition of unity and connection that makes us a nation, and unless we meet this condition, there's no nation, no nothing, and everyone wants to kill us. What does this condition mean? That we have to love each other, otherwise they come to kill us. I don't think that there is any other nation in which there are so many inner disputes. Everyone is very opinionated. Everyone's very smart. Everyone's very stubborn. How does this combination here in Israel leave room for, how to put it, I have to love them? It's like in our nature as Jews, there's this dispute. Because to begin with, we're not one nation. We are a collection of 70 nations of the world that connected under Abraham, our patriarch, in Babylon many years ago. But there's no connection between us. So how will we become a nation? Only on condition of love above all differences. That's the thing, love above all differences? Yeah, because I'm not your relative, you're not my relative, but we have to feel ourselves as relatives, as kin. Now, when you just mentioned love above all differences, I feel that this was the nation's response to the disaster. Once we acknowledged what happened, you saw the revelation of love above everything, between everyone. The main thing is to save the nation, unite, contribute. You see wondrous things here. That's the beat that's like that we're missing, yeah. And that has to always be between us. Will it protect us from above? Only that. Will it give us protection from above? Yes, only that. To look at things a bit more broadly about the world's response, we see since the disaster, tremendous international support. 84 countries supported us. Even many people in the West really feel that this attack was against them. Does it encourage you to see the world's response? No. Why? It can actually weaken me. Again and again, I'm saying that our force, our future, doesn't depend on how others treat us, but on how we inside our nation treat each other. That's why the entire world can shout that we love you and you're really great, etc., etc. Doesn't impress me because it'll give me no promise for the future. Nothing. We need to promise our own future by ourselves. That only by love, by coming closer to each other, by the mutual care and concern existing in this nation, which is not a nation, it's a group of people. They connect between themselves, and this is what makes them a nation, and no one can then come to them and complain in any way. I thought that it could be that this disaster that happened to us and the support that the world's giving us, that it will maybe help them, the world, better understand our side. No, they can't. They can't. It's something that doesn't exist in their nature. What? To feel us. You need to integrate, incorporate with someone that you want to feel, but they don't have the same qualities. And therefore, I have nothing against them. So the nations will never be able to feel us? Sometime, yes, but not now. What can make them really feel the suffering that we're going through? It depends on, as it's said, as it's written in Psalms, that then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. It depends on the force that comes from above. When will it come? When we will connect nicely between us here, the nation of Israel, yes, and then the world will better understand us, yes. Let's talk about the U.S. In recent years, we kind of we grew colder toward each other. But after the disaster, we see tremendous support. Biden not only doesn't only talk, but he also sends soldiers and warships. Maybe our attitude toward him was wrong. It's not that important to me. I don't hang our future on warships or Biden. What gives you the certainty to rely on yourself so much? Only the connection within Israel, because then we have connection with the Creator, which is greater and stronger than President Biden. Well, if to speak about the Creator, then I don't know how else can we promise our life, our future, the connection between us, but only by one force. Even the army couldn't protect us from the massacre. Precisely. Yeah. So who will? Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. We were as dreamers. Then, when we unite, we succeed. The protection from above depends on the connection from below. Yeah. That we connect below, that we become incorporated in each other, that we embrace one another, that we don't want to part from one another whatsoever. What kind of force is there in the embrace that you are me and I am you, and God is between us? Then He'll protect us? Of course. We then don't need to take care of anything else. Today, there are many people that were kidnapped. They're probably in Gaza. They're missing, that we have no idea what's going on with them. There are families that are shattered to pieces. What can help them at this time? Only the connection between us again. Because in our connection, we're closer to the upper force, and we can ask Him for forgiveness. And then also correction. And then to help bring us back to the right state. Forgiveness. What exactly do we need to ask for forgiveness for? That we broke all the conditions that the Creator has made for us, that we didn't care about nothing that goes on. The main thing is right or left, and other such things. Therefore, we need to really perform real self-scrutiny, to ask for forgiveness from everyone. And I really hope that the Creator will forgive us. You mentioned correction. What's the correction that we need to ask for? That the Creator will help us connect. Because we were in such hate toward one another lately that really only the upper force can arrange such relations between us that we will be able to help each other. Why didn't He arrange it before? We didn't ask. We even wanted to move even further away from each other. He's waiting for our request? Yes. Yeah. If you could speak right now directly to those people that were kidnapped, what would you tell them? That were taken prisoners. That my heart's with you. And that I'm willing to do anything and everything in order for you to come out of there. And I will pray with all I've got to the Creator to help you. And let's hope that we will be able to get you out of there until our very last friend. And that it'll never happen, that we will all understand that only the connection between us will protect us, and the Creator from above. This is what we need to do. Then we can be certain that this will be the last war.
What
can we do in order to bring them back in peace? To do all that we can in coming closer to one another, paying attention to no one else, no other nation, nothing. Only between us to come closer, so much so that we are as one man in one heart. And this will help us. And the connection between us with the upper force, with our Creator. And then we'll succeed. Then we'll succeed in getting back all of our prisoners, those that were kidnapped. How will we protect our sons and daughters that are fighting in the front for us, that are giving their life for us? Only by the connection between us with the Creator. There is no other protection. There's nothing else that can promise us that we'll feel safe, but only by the connection between us and the Creator. So let's hope that it'll work. What does the Creator want from us with everything that's going on? The Creator, He gave us His condition. He gave us His nation, the nation of Israel, this condition thousands of years ago, that we need to be connected as one man and one heart. And then this will be the condition under which He will protect us. What do you wish as Dr. Laitman? I wish only connection, and such that is above all doubts, all problems, all disputes, above everything. That from our strong connection, the entire world will feel that they don't have the strength to touch us, to near us. And this is how we will pass on to the entire world the knowledge of the Creator and the correction. What is your prayer? What is your prayer, Dr. Laitman? This is the prayer that all of us, first and foremost, we will be able to connect with each other and the upper force, our upper force, and then I wish for this approach, for this attitude to reach the hearts of all the people in the world, and that we will all unite as one man and one heart, all of us. This upper force that you're talking about a lot now, what is this force? How to imagine it to ourselves? What kind of force is it? All of mankind is one man, and with them is one Creator, that there's no one else besides Him, and this is what we need to unite. Do you believe that unity and love have strength? I'm sure that if we'll think this way, then the upper force will perform this act of connection with us, of unity, love, and success. Amen. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. Amen. Thank you.